get this loaded up now. Oh, we are. We should have started. Sorry, guys. All right. Let me pull up the photo and stuff. Take a second here.
Which, by the way, okay, analyzing this thing here, okay, this barn, I'm having such a hard time like figuring out that shape, how I make that shape of the roof.
Thank you, me too.
Yeah, it's like, okay,
It turns.
so that's part of it, but
Uh-huh.
I couldn't figure out if it was one barn or two barns for a while, one in front of the other, but my husband tells me it's
Oh,
one.
you guys look at it's this, right? It's one barn here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
And then it has like a shed next to it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is it
right?
it's like attached? I mean, is it like
Yeah, it's attached. It's just a lean-to, It's basically you drive your tractor in there and that's about it. You put some storage in there.
Well, when I was trying to sketch this out, it was amazing how many angles are in here. Thank you, Jim. Like this one goes up to the air, that one goes up. It's the road.
Yeah, it's really, this is painting class. It's not about that.
Well, it
Yes.
just you kind of have to understand the shape in your head if you want to make it happen. That's all.
Right. Well, yeah, I know. You guys are. It is.
It's not an apple. That's for sure.
It's not going to be the whole painting, but yeah, it stands out. It does everything else. I mean, it is a focal point, but I don't think it. Yeah, those angles and stuff. I think it's a barn and stuff. It's really just just a little bit more of a rectangle, little angles to the rectangle. That's about it. But this thing about this photo and stuff we're going to be using here, it has a lot of opposites going on here, opposite. I guess should be that is what I really like about it. I see opposites. That's why I kind of chose this one for a long and skinny one, because you got a long side and a real skinny side. And that kind of goes with everything else going on in this photo here, because we got warm areas and you got very cool areas in it. Oops, keep saving it. I don't want to save them. And we got what else? There's some really darks, and you got some really lights. I just really love this thing. And I love the way this thing works. If you work it out right, you got these really strong Z patterns going on in here.
Right.
Along with it being tied together with this beautiful road. And then you also have the 1/3 thing. So you got many different good, really strong design elements and basic compositional designs that are all coming together in this painting, all together in this design. Everything's pretty much worked out for you. So quit complaining about the damn barn and get painting.
One of the reasons I liked it when you sent it is you always tell us you got to be pulled into the picture, and that road surely doesn't. And it actually shows up on the other side of the barn a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit back there. And that's the thing is for you guys to, you guys can make the journey as far back as you want with that road and stuff. If you want to tag it back there a little bit that way, or have it come back out here and come back in and wind, that kind of stuff's up to you. It won't affect the big composition and stuff like that. But if you have something back here, you like this blue back in here, it's really pretty against these other warms and stuff. That might be a nice little way to get you back there too. A little line to say, hey, look at this color here, and then that might drag you back around over here, and then drag you back down, and just keeps you going. I want to say that if you're going to concentrate on a lot of angles on this barn, I don't see them. Okay. I see a square here, rectangle here with a little, with the slope of this guy coming in and this guy leaning in a little bit, you know, and this guy just falling apart, a little bit of snow on this thing and a square here, and there, you know, and some snow on the roof. You know, that's
I mean more the angles of the hillside. This hill came down and that hill went up, and
yeah. You know, it's kind of nice though. I mean, it's really,
yeah,
you know,
it's interesting.
It's really, you know, just brings you in, everything kind of like just brings you into this painting, right? Brings you right over to here, to this area here. Yeah, it's sort of in the middle, that section, but it's not that bad. I'm really the you'll end up being here really. So that's off center. That's pretty good. I moved some things around in this thing. Jane, you're here today, right?
Yep, I'm here.
You said you think this is yours or what?
No, but it looks like a place right here where I live, like about 10 miles away from here. You could just see that same scene.
Yeah.
It isn't my picture, no.
Okay, I was just checking to make sure because I sometimes pick these up and I forget who I forget to mark them because I'm grabbing so many at one time. Because this one there's this one and then there's the one from the opposite side looking from that side at this barn and stuff, and the road kind of curves up again and stuff like that, and you can sort of see this area from back there. And we'll be painting that on Monday. I liked it so much. It's almost just like this, but in the opposite direction. So it's really be nice, two good ones to go together.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to join us Monday, you guys can watch it on Monday.
Jane, where do you live?
Jane, you're up by Pittsburgh, right?
Oh, yes, I'm about 16 miles from Pittsburgh.
Okay.
It's crazy out here.
I hear.
With the election and all that's going on, neighbors are crazy and everything.
This is all your fault. It's all your fault.
I know, I can't help it.
How come you weren't out there counting? You're supposed to be counting.
I am. I'm counting the fence posts that are being knocked down with Trump signs and stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, they fight out here.
Yeah, we fight everywhere.
Do we?
Yeah, it seems like it. I mean, yeah. What can you do? We all have strong opinions. So I really, you know, everything about this one, it's very, very, just a beautiful little scene, I think.
Yes.
Just a little bit nice touches of snow and some just enough to, you know, big, strong areas, not too many little details to worry about. Details, if I was going to put any details in, when, you know, big, you know, things, gosh, look at, there's really nothing on this barn that just says, you know, it's worth being, you know, really knocked out. The fence is probably the toughest little thing to paint, but if we paint it in at the end, we should be fine. I think a lot of times I have a lot of fun. I think, you know, getting this kind of stuff in the snow. And most of the snow, I always try to go dark to light, dark to light. But this time, I mean, we are probably going to paint this section of the tree dark and stuff. And then we'll come back in with snow into this area and stuff. But all this kind of little stuff here, you know, all the little dots and dashes and stuff will be putting in at the end. Well, this will be dark first, but that stuff is, you know, will be easiest to do at the end and stuff, because we don't probably want it to be too powerful and taking over, you know, the contrasts. You know, we don't want it to be too dark against this light snow anyway. So that, you know, that'll take a little bit of time to work out, but nothing too major. Trying to get the depth in this one. Of course, I think this tree is definitely the darkest, and then you got this area here that's going to be your next darkest, and then you pretty much, I mean, you got some trees and stuff over here, but those against the light and stuff, they don't really do anything. So then you go all the way back to here. So that's your steps, trying to get this dark to that dark. And if you knock those guys out, you pretty much get all the design will take care of itself. You know, it will really help you get the depth. And really, this should be a very nice painting. I say just watch your contrasts from back, anything back in here, you know, anything in the background here from that far back, you know, you should be able to, on your palette, look at those colors and just say they got to be very close together range and stuff. I mean, yeah, you're going to have some brighter whites and stuff, but you know, all this kind of stuff, the sky, the mountains back there and into the trees and stuff, that's what you want to kind of blend out with your eyes. You want to be able to squint and almost can't tell the difference between this color and this cool and this warm. And even this blue back here. I mean, that blue is going to stand out a little bit, but you really, that will give you so much nice depth and make it really simple. That way you can, you know, really knock this area out here. That's a really nice shape. That's just like, you know, that's the kind of stuff. I don't know why I didn't paint this before. I've looked at this, and I think it was because it was a lot taller, probably. And this tree up here, I couldn't make my decision where I wanted to crop it, or, you know, it's either crop it up here and crop some of this off. You know, I think that's the reason I never painted it before. But I've saved it for you guys. It should be a lot of fun to paint. Okay, you guys ready to go?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes, got to take my dog out, but I'll be back in a minute.
Well,
By the way, Eva is going to join us, but she had to collect paintings this morning for a show, so she might be about an hour late.
No worries, no
Okay.
worries. We're taping. We are taping
Okay,
today,
good.
so
Yes.
she can
Okay.
catch up.
Cool.
So her ears are ringing right here, right now at, you know, almost 9:45. She'll know we're talking about her.
Okay, good. Okay, so I'm taking.
Oh man, I'm kind of a little bit behind everything. I didn't even tell you guys. You guys saw that I won some awards and stuff yesterday. Picked
Yeah.
up at the museum and stuff. That was kind of nice.
So awesome.
One of them was from this class we painted a long time ago. Well, back in the spring. It was the cooks things and stuff. That cooks in the kitchen, and that was a lot of fun. That was a tough one. That was really tough. That was like one of our first Zoom meetings and stuff, and I was, you know, picking out pretty hard things, I guess. I've softened up a lot on you guys. Look at how easy this one is compared to that. I mean, amazing. You guys really softened me up.
There is no easy with you.
I have to pull this up on my screen here. Just take a second. I'm falling behind here. Take a second. It should be at the bottom here. Not the painting class. Curvy Road. I saw it. Yes. Paint that. Okay. So I'll bring it over to over here, and I'm gonna have to pull out my paint. So this better be a fast painting, because I've kind of, you know, we can paint a little bit longer tonight today too, because of I'm taking a little bit extra time here. So I see a few other people have joined us. Hi, Sabrina. Haven't seen you in a while.
Hey, Jim.
Hey,
Yeah, good to be here.
good
Hi,
to have
Sabrina.
you.
I miss seeing your paintings.
Yeah, well, that was the deal, that she was not going to show anything ever. You know, she can just talk and glorify me, but that's about all she can do.
It's not very hard to do. You make it easy. It's all good.
Yeah, and Louise, you're here too. Good to see you and everything. Okay.
Hi, how are you? Sorry.
Good. Hey, we
Little-
missed you on Monday, right? That was it?
Yes, I'm gonna do that painting this weekend though. I started mixing
better.
colors. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Oh, that one, yep. That kind of goes with this one. So we'll have a lot of crossover from idea wise and stuff. A lot of things will be the same.
Well, we don't get a lot of snow here, so I'm excited about painting
Oh
snow.
yeah, you're in Tennessee.
That's right.
All right. See, I remember these things. I don't know how I do it. All
We'd
right.
be happy to send us our snow.
Yeah, we'll send you plenty. We have plenty.
A little bit.
So I got my white out, my Pomelbo white. And as you can see now, I'm using these big two, I have this big honking thing of white here. Because I've been going, it's getting to be snow time for me and I gotta have a lot of white. So I'm putting out my cad yellow light, my cad red light, and I'll be putting out probably a little bit of cad orange. I'm not exactly sure. It might end up being like in the street or something like that. Oh, I know. I'll be definitely in the grasses and stuff, of course. So there's a lot of grasses and stuff in here. So you'll be seeing a lot of cad orange. Sorry, my printer is still bad now. My colors are going. My black, some reason, decided it was cartridge was no good. A little bit of everything. Got to fix it. Got to get more ink again. I'm going to go with ochre. That's cad orange. Going to go with yellow ochre. That's always nice that'll be enough. And then I'm going to go with it's in my bag. I went out plein air painting it, so everything's kind of in between my bag and here. So I'm going to have to be grabbing some stuff here. This is red oxide. Well, red oxide will do it. That'll be the same as Venetian. If you got Venetian, red oxide, or Terra Rosa, they're all pretty close to the same. Just a slightly different warmth, and that's about it. I got blue out. I'm going to go with, I have my regular blue there, and I might put out I'm just going to go with my regular blue. So I'm going to go with my regular blue is this cobalt blue hue. This is pretty messed up. I put out a new dab. My burnt sienna looks pretty bad too. Which you definitely need some good burnt sienna because I'm going to tone I'm going to tone it probably with Venetian or something like whatever my Venetian is. Now I got burnt umber here.
So which one did they take?
There's a burnt umber, and I'm going to put out just a little bit of phthalo green. You don't put much out, not really yet.
Yeah,
Not going to really be much in this painting, but it's good to have. I will also put out again some of this royal blue. But if you don't have royal blue, it's basically what do you got, cobalt blue or hue or in white, just blue and white basically. It just helps me speed things up a little bit for you guys.
Which brand of royal blue do you use?
You don't have royal blue?
No, it's called King's Blue in some instances.
King's blue, that's it. Sorry, King's blue. You're right. Boy, I'm an idiot.
But which brand did you use?
I have Rembrandts. I only paint with Rembrandt unless I run out of white paint.
Like your cobalt blue hue. That's the one.
Yeah, that's now it's now Rembrandt. Yeah, blue hue. Thanks. Oh, you should be painting. What are you talking to me for?
No, I was wondering. I was pleasantly surprised to see your brand new Rembrandt stuff.
Oh,
And
I was too.
transparent red oxide in like last 8 years that I've been following you, this is the first time I'm seeing you use it.
Shh. That's a brand new tube. They gave it to me. What do I got? I got to use it. I'm just that, I don't want it to go.
It's a fantastic color.
It is a really good, that's like a Schmid color, and I just
It is a Schmidt color. You're right.
that and Terra Rosa and everything. If I painted just like him, yeah, I'd be doing it, but I don't. So I'm just going to be able to point to areas on this thing. I'm not going to, don't use it for color and stuff. I'll be using my screen over here for color. But first I'm going to start making up the darks for this tree. And some of these darks here will also go into just into the road area here. And we'll probably going into some of this barn back in here. That's pretty much all our darks will be. There'll be some in a little bit in the fence and stuff, but those aren't main things. So of course, we'll start with our blue here. This is a blue, cobalt blue hue. And I'm going to be yeah? And I threw people off already. And this is that Venetian or red oxide or, there's so many colors. You could go Indian red. You could go, Venetian. So it's basically a warm kind of, brown I'm going to end up making. But when you cut it with white, it will end up being a purple. That's a really nice smoky purple. I'm going to take this, make sure I do 2 little piles. Definitely a cool one. One with where I see blue in it, and then I'll see one with a little red into it. I'm also just going to take this over here, and we'll just show you real quick. Just throw it over here because this will be my grays. And I'm going to take a little bit of this pile and bring it over here, and we're going to start working on midtones and stuff over here just by adding a little bit of white to it. Get a nice gray. See, usually when I would have brought that over, I think it would have been just a slightly warmer. Other colors I want to get into here. This is for again, this tree here. There's another one I want to get because I know it's going to come into the road and some other things. This is burnt sienna and blue. Because this will probably end up being able to cut this down and end up being really close to the barn color.
Okay, Jim, I got a question. The very first color you mixed, which was the Venetian blue.
Yeah.
Okay, is it supposed to look brown when it's through, or is it supposed to look?
It's a red, kind of a dark red brown.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to know. Okay.
Yeah.
And
What
then
are you
you took
mixing
some
now?
of that and you added white over on the left side, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, you were gone for a second. Yeah, I just added some white to it to make it gray.
Yeah.
But this gray, it's kind of a nice gray. And I think that is almost the value of the snow here and stuff. So I might be looking at, little things there, just being able to tweak this gray a little bit, maybe lighter or more blue or something like that, more purple, more red, and making up all the snow colors of the snow. This right here is, again, burnt sienna and blue. This is the blue side. This is the more warm side, which is more burnt sienna. This is definitely, if I bring this over and I cut it with white, probably about a third of white in here. This should gray out unless you have too much burnt sienna in it. It should gray out to be about the barn color. I think I got a little bit too much burnt sienna in that. This one's probably going to end up being closer. One with just a little bit more blue in it. Well, that's all it is, just slightly blue. So both these colors together, though, you're going to find all these colors right here in this barn, definitely, and they're going to work together really nice. This burnt sienna and blue, I got it right here and stuff. If I keep cutting it with some more white, like half white, half that, I'm going to start getting into the road colors. So a lot of these things are going to be really built really quickly and off each other. This is going to start ending being some of the road colors, especially around the edges of the road. Stuff in the middle and stuff. I would say you're probably still going to go with maybe a little bit more blue and then hit it with some ochre. One more burnt sienna, but I'm going to go with ochre. Ochre is kind of a nice, beautiful, warm, neutral. And those guys mixed together just a little bit more will really come up and be, you know, the road color. At least the basis for the road color. It's just going to be, so it's just burnt sienna blue, ochre and white for this road. Got some warmth in over here. Both these guys, of course, what I do is I cut the piles together, maybe add a little more white to one of them. Start getting the highlights in the road. Then maybe add a little bit more blue on one side, gray it out for some other stuff. Maybe even some orange in there, a piece of it into orange. Oh, that's a gorgeous color. Definitely, I'd like to use that. Just a little cat orange into the mix, really warms it up, fires it up. And that'll be nice for certain areas you're going to find in that road. There are some cooler areas. That's where I was putting in some blue. But I would say this blue gray I made over here, you could probably even cut that down with just a little bit of white, get it into this value mix. And even in the back down here, it's going to take a little bit more and more of that white. This is probably going to be pretty good back in here, maybe. Might be just too bright, but not too bad. There you go. Just tone it down. Tone it down, tone it down, tone it down. There you go. Nice little grays back there. These grays in here are also, this whole painting is really kind of weird because it's really, it's all built off of these colors here. There's not really too many other things here going on here. This little area here is really the more intense areas. It's just these little grass parts showing. But everything else can be built off of just these darks here and some white. So while we're doing that, let's, okay, we got the road, some road colors stuff, and I started introducing some oranges and stuff. So let's get this kind of bright green orange over here and stuff. I'm gonna start with just burnt sienna or burnt umber. Sorry, it's a burnt umber and cat orange together for it. Get this kind of a rich orange. Some more, and then maybe just bring in just a little bit of phthalo green into that mix.
Is that burnt sienna or is that burnt?
It could have been burnt umber and cat orange.
Oh, burnt umber. I got the wrong one going here.
And yeah, I'm looking at it going, I think it's going to work, but it's not. It's not the right. Let me try one more time. Instead of cat orange, let me go with cat yellow. Got way too much brown here. Should have turned greener. Yeah, that's a lot better start. And then just a scraping of green into it. turn it right to about the right value. Yeah, that's real close. So instead of it's burn umber yellow, a lot of yellow, touch of burn umber, touch of phthalo green into it. Just a scraping of those guys will make this color here. I would again, take, it's kind of a big area and stuff. Make sure you don't paint it all just one simple color right off. Make sure you have a couple variations in this color. So that's why I'm just going to go over here and steal some of the cat orange I had over here and throw that in here. So you got a few different little things going on, maybe even cat red. Shouldn't make that big a deal. It's just good to have a lot of little tweaky colors to kind of throw in here and stuff. They always just make it more lively and stuff. Let's get to the back here, and since we're working in these oranges and stuff, we'll get back to the roof here and stuff. Let's start off with, again, this. Well, mine's oxide today, but yours could be Venetian or anything else. This is almost really right off the bat, very close to what we need for that roof. So we know we're pretty much in the right ballpark on that. We probably want to do a couple of little things to it. Maybe just add a little bit more, some blue to it to darken it off. Take the curse off of it just being the way it is. Then we'll take a piece of that, maybe add just a little cat red to it. That was cat orange. Probably gonna have to lighten a few of this stuff up too. Maybe just add a little bit of white. See what happens when you add some white. Little bit of white, not much. Take it easy on the white. Always take it easy on the white, even when you're painting snow.
What was the name of that big white jar that you had, or of white paint?
Permelba.
Yes.
Permelba white.
Permelba. Okay, perfect. Thanks.
Yeah, that was my daughter bought these for me. She bought 3 of them for me. They were like on sale for $8.
Wow.
And
That's a good deal.
yeah, you can't even buy one tube, and this is like 5 tubes of that white in there. It's heavy. It's like 16 ounces.
Where?
I love Melba.
She got it at Blick for me. So it was like they were canceling it out. It was on clearance and stuff.
Where was it
She
again?
texted, "Hey, do you want some?" Like, well, yes. Okay.
It's a great paint. I hope they don't
yeah.
close it out. I love
Oh,
them.
me too.
Sorry, Jim, I still didn't hear you. Where was it?
I can't tell you anymore. I know you. No, it was at Blick.
Blick. Okay.
Dick
Got it.
Blick.
Yeah. Okay.
Don't you have Blick? You have Blicks there in Detroit. don't
Yes, we do.
Okay, Jim, let's go over this color. You started with Venetian, you put a little blue in, then what did you do?
This is the one with blue. Then I took it over here, took a piece of it, went over here, put some cat orange into it.
Okay,
Then over here, I just added some white to that.
okay.
And
You
now
added
over
white to
here,
the one with orange, right?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did.
Okay.
Also, now I'm just also making, basically I'm going back to the very first color. I just made up some here. And that will probably end up being in here too. And little variances, probably a little more on the red side, so even more red than that. So it's just basically that color with blue. So you got a really kind of a dark one. I would also, it's a lot of red and stuff in here. I mean, for just this area and stuff. So it could end up being kind of boring and stuff, you know. And so I would also look at, you know, being able to grab a, you know, putting a blue in there somewhere, finding a place to put blue. I think there is even a little piece of snow here that could go in here and you could put it in there, but also try to bring something in to break that stuff up. You can make these colors sing just by putting in an opposite next to it, you know, a green in there of some sort. So if you took, you know, there is some lighter boards in there and stuff up there, and you just put a little more green into your colors and stuff, you know, some of the weathered colors, and just mix the two together, you're gonna get red and green together will make you a gray and stuff. And you can use that, just cut it with white, and that will be nice to have in there too. So you all of a sudden these colors won't be too heavy in the reds and stuff like that. You know me, I worry about my weight when I paint. You know, I really do. Let's see. Well, we got the road thing, and we got some base start on some snow. We got to work on some more snow, skies in the background. So let's work the rest on some of these snows. Okay, like I said over here, this is basically Venetian blue and white together over here on the blue side. Value wise, yeah, it's off. This is kind of a almost warm, almost touch too warm. Usually my color for snow, that's another thing about this thing of being opposites today. It's a sunny day and you've got a lot of warmth, but the shadows are cool. And that's the thing to remember about shadows and stuff. I think I preach this to you guys all the time, that the rule of thumb is sunny day, cool shadows, cloudy day, warm shadows. That's usually your thinking, because that's what's happening. So you can really see it in the snow, and you can see it definitely going across here and stuff. So let's work on the coolness and stuff. So this gray probably is good for a lot of things, for mixings, and probably for back in here and stuff like that, of the painting and stuff. Probably it's the right value, but it's just a little warm. So let's make one right next to it. I'm going to go with, instead of using a warm red, I'm going to use a alizarin crimson and blue. Just a little bit of alizarin crimson. You don't need probably that much for this. I think it's really on the blue side. Alizarin's a strong color and will come through quickly. So blue and white, a little bit of alizarin, and we'll get it toned up to about the right value. Right now it's a little light. No, we're going to be a little light. Come on. There we go. All right. Blue, white, and then I'll just add just a little bit more alizarin because it's just a little bit too blue. So just a little bit of alizarin to it. I also might, ooh, see? That really changed it. Might get a little sweet. It gets a little sweet sometimes. And you know, okay, that is a cool color. It happens more in the back, a little bit farther back in here than it does right in front here. In front of that snow, I'm gonna go with just a little bit of cad red in here. Just a little bit of the mix. Use a little bit more of that stuff. Just add just a little bit of cad red because it's got to gray out and warm up just a hair to get a small bit of depth in the snow, or else it's going to feel very flat. So that will be going up more in here. And as I go past the tree, maybe into here, I'll switch over to a sweeter, this lighter blue mix and stuff. And then Then I'll use this grayed out mix right here as farther I get, farther back and stuff. So I'm going to mix up one more, go back. All right. So this is basically the snow for in here. I need probably, that being said, I do need something to cross that street shadow and stuff. That's really a very important color. And that's going to be purples and blues again. I'm going to go right back to my very beginning color, just like I did up there, and make sure it's on the blue side. So it's just a little bit more Venetian in blue than blue, and just not as much white. I really want a darker gray, gray purple. And of course, it's sides. It's gonna fight me. Gotta be able to see it, right? Yeah, just a little more purple. Okay, there we go. So this is a lot of the main part of it. What I'll do on this thing though, this is again, when I do shadows and stuff, you got streaks going through these shadows from the road and stuff. Just tone this color down a little bit. I mean, really, I'd use this, maybe take a piece of it, just grab a little of this pink reflector, this purple here, and add it in here and there. That's what I'd be doing when I'm painting and stuff. I wouldn't be making a lot of big steps here, but I'll just be grabbing a little piece of this while it's wet and breaking up this color as I go and stuff. I'll put it in, probably try to put this shadow in with like 1 or 2 strokes, then come back in with the lighter versions of these guys, grabbing a little piece of these guys and touching up the shadow here and there where I feel like a road goes through, or a tire track has gone through this stuff. It's always nice to do that. That's really nice, the way to combine, you know, the shadow to the road. Okay, grays and stuff back in here. I think I'm gonna stay right where I am. I really like the Venetian and blue mixes, and I'm just gonna take and do what I did here, and maybe I have to just add a little bit of yellow to it here and there. But that's it. These are just stronger, a little bit stronger midtones than are in the street here. So it's nice to, if you could mix them next to here, you can really make sure that these guys are lighter. There's a good step.
Okay, what did you put in there? Did you put yellow, did you say?
Not yet.
Oh,
I'm talking about what I'm going to do. Yeah.
okay.
I didn't put any yellow in yet. I mean, it's going to take a piece of this and put yellow into it.
Okay, so this is
Based on
Venetian.
building
Wait, this is Venetian and
blue and probably just, there's a little white in here too.
okay.
That came off of back in here too. So that's why there's stuff. I'm looking at building these mountains back here, and this is going to be too dark by about a couple steps. What I want to do is be at least a step or 2 darker than the road. And that'll be it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. This is about the right value. Then I'll just take this pile, you know, make it into 4 piles.
Oh,
And
really?
then I need one over here. So this is one I was saying about adding ochre to. Maybe ochre, because it's kind of a purple. And if I add enough ochre, it will start to be, yeah, it really hits these guys. I'm sorry about this again, but this is really, that's a really nice color. These guys mixed together. There's some little bit darker tree trunks in there and stuff. But the mass of it will be really close to this, and maybe a little bit on the red side too. I would say going back into the mountains behind the thing, about behind the barn and stuff. Definitely we want to stay cooler, but I would say those guys are just going to be differences of blues and reds just by adding more blue to it. And maybe just a little bit of cab red to this one, and that's about it. That's all I think I really need to do these mountains back there. They don't need a whole lot of love. They just need a little bit. So I want to put enough cad red in here and this pile here, where I can see it. It looks different right now. It's taking its time to take over. So it's just a little bit of warmth. That's too much. Okay, I'll take care of that. Let's see. We got the snow. Okay, the light white snow. We got the blue snow. We got the white snows, right? You guys got plenty of room, right? Left.
No. Hey, Jim, I don't see any. Show me where you were saying you got your light white snow. Which colors are those? Mine are kind
Right
of
here, white. This white, right?
You haven't done it yet, right?
Oh. Thank you, Sabrina.
That's what I'm saying. You got that whole spot right here for your
Yeah,
whites.
we got a whole big spot, right? Exactly.
One thing about snow is usually I always try to make the point that there is no such thing as white snow. There is some reflections in the snow or whites and stuff. So looking at this thing, even with this, you can start to tell. I feel this is pinker. This is has more yellows and whites in it, and in the front. So that's the way I'm going to build this and stuff. And so the sun's going to be hitting this thing. So I'm going with white and ochre. A lot of white, just a little bit of ochre. In this one, make one pile like that. Just a little. I'm just going to keep it very high key.
Baby.
Then I do another pile with just a little bit of little burnt sienna, just scraping burnt sienna in it.
Mine looks like pea snow.
These are going to be pretty simple things. One more. I'd go with a lizard. Let me see. This is that oxide brown. And it's going to be a pink. I won't be using quite that much. It's a pretty strong color. I thought it would be a lot wimpier. But being a transparent color, it really has a lot of guts. This color here, you'll probably start to find in the barn here. It just has a little more pink cast to the snow. And as the snow goes back in perspective and stuff, it grays out a little bit and stuff. So just having just a little bit of red in it, then you put just a scraping blue into it. Those two will cancel each other out a little bit and gray it out, become a gray white. Almost white, just a little. I didn't even put any of that royal blue out. I didn't even use it. It was pretty sad. Put that much out and I didn't use it for anything.
You mixed it, that's why.
Yeah.
On the
Okay.
left, right next to the yellow ochre.
Yeah.
You mixed it. All you needed is the King's blue plus some of your blue. You could have gotten there.
I could have got there a lot faster. Right.
Yeah.
Right. I could have.
No, I mean, this is good. I was wondering how you're gonna use it because you were mixing.
Well, like I said, since just grab some of it, put it in here too. Get a nice feel for it.
Color. Oh,
I
yeah.
don't really use it a ton, but it's just sometimes just you grab it and go stuff. So you'll probably
Okay,
find.
okay, Jim, can we just go over the light whites again? We did white with a little ochre, and the second one was white with what?
I have no idea. You got to pay attention better.
Okay, we were looking for the pinky one. Was the pink one,
No,
was that
This is
Venetian?
burnt sienna.
Oh.
Okay, this is burnt sienna in white. It
Okay.
it has like almost becomes a coral kind of color.
Okay,
And stuff. It's warm color.
yeah,
This
okay.
this one is this is Venetian, just a scraping of Venetian. I'm talking scraping because it's so strong. It really takes over the piles. It's a nice tint color. Up here, I was just using some of these blue grays I made up over here, and just graying down a white, and becomes more of a takes the curse off the white and stuff. I'll be using that here and there. I'll be using probably all these guys interchangeable, mostly these gray whites in the background. These guys here more in the foreground against the purples and stuff.
Thank you.
Jim, how big is your palette? I forget. Is it 16 by 20? I'm trying to.
This is like an 18 by 24.
Oh, even bigger. Okay.
Yeah, I go big. I'm gonna make sure I got some more white out. That's the thing about this, though. You got to make sure you have a clean knife when you dig in here, or you pollute your. You get a little bit of phthalo in there, and you have a big thing of blue or green and stuff. So make sure. So that's about it. I mean,
Yeah, I never seen you mess up color except for maybe sometimes your hands, but other than that.
Yeah, see that?
Yeah.
Crazy. I gotta quit. I gotta go home. I'll be taking an hour and.
Well, it's not lead white. You're fine.
Good point. Good point. All right. I think that's the colors for now. If I'll let you know if I'm gonna switch out something here farther back, but I think that'll be enough to black it in and get us at least 3/4 of the way there. So I'm gonna switch back here in a second. Get over here. Oh, we got plenty of time today. All right, coming back. Nice. Oh, what a beautiful palette shot. Okay, I'm going to tint this thing too. Tint my canvas here. I'm working off linen again. Linen. This is a 12 by 24. And I can put out my oil. I didn't put out oil. Okay. I'm going to tint it with, again, just a little bit of that. Well, I have, like I said, I have oxide red. But it should be Venetian, would have been fine. I was just in a little bit of a rush this morning. I don't know why. Just off. So tone it. I like to tone it because you can see how it's kind of going to breaking up down here and stuff. So this kind of just is really a good way just to get this to start to just accepting oil and stuff. Sometimes these canvases, you got to blame your canvas. You don't blame yourself. It's always the canvas's fault. Smear it in to get rid of the basic whites. I do this a lot just to make sure when at the end of a painting and stuff, I'm not going back in and seeing a lot of white or something showing through. I mean, on this one, it's being a winter painting and stuff like this, yeah, it probably won't make a difference. But I'm just gonna draw it in. Okay. We want the barn. I kind of like probably should figure out where you want your barn and stuff on this one. I would say first, a lot of this, definitely watch it getting to the middle too much. Definitely don't want it to get it there. We want to at least move it back in here. You guys like my new brush? This is a 2-inch brush. I was using a 1.5. Now I moved up. Now we're going. This is a 2.5-inch brush, or 2-inch brush. Sorry. Yeah, I know you guys are all excited about that. You guys don't have to. And the cool thing about this barn and stuff is you don't have to be perfect at all with it. The more you're off and stuff here, you'll be fine. Except I'm off a little bit probably, but I went a little bit high on that arc. That's why. There is a little building back in here too. You make sure that these guys overlap a little bit here. So they don't, this line here from this shadow from the barn, insides of the barn here, don't line up exactly with the line here, because that'll be a tough little tangent for the viewer to get by. So make sure you got a little more overlap of that building back in here. And then there's trees there. Okay, that tells me everything here. So I got to get to the front of the building, goes right around it. So this comes back in. I got to get right to here. Come down. Yeah. Was that somebody talking to me? Really, I got a little bit more here. Got a tree. Lean it in a little bit. Make sure you got a little bit of lean into your painting. You don't want, if you put it too lined up with the edge here and stuff, and not have it lean up, it's gonna be a block and stuff. But if you lean it into the photo just a little bit more than it is, you can paint it the same way, just paint it a little bit more of a lean into your painting and stuff. It will be a lot nicer. Yeah, the railings and stuff, we're not gonna worry about that. I'm gonna get this up here. This is a big mountain. Boy, that's a nice hill. And it comes back in, there's another hill there, and then another one coming in back from here. And I'll lead you to this one, back to that one. And that's it. Big shadow kind of crosses in. Really, the shadow really leads you into this painting and stuff. I probably got this guy over just a little bit too far. He should be into this a little bit more. Got it right into there. Okay. Got to shrink him down a little bit. And all right. No. Okay. Get that road coming around here. fences and stuff. It's like I said, with the fences, any of that kind of stuff, paint them at the end. They're going a lot easier. And you can think about your trees. Trees. These guys are going to have to be painted pretty soft. Okay. And then they'll talk about putting in snow again over this stuff. Okay. How are you guys doing? You guys need time to draw? Need any help? Anybody need any help?
Hi, I'm just watching. I missed.
Hey, Karen, how are you?
I missed the first part. Sorry. Which
I'll go back. I'll go back.
Well, I love to see you. I'll look at your. I love to see you analyze the painting. Actually, the photograph to see what you do.
Thanks. Thank you.
So I like that. But I want to at least see what you're up to.
I'll send. Yeah, there'll be a link to this if you want to see it. You know,
Yeah.
stuff more.
Facts again.
Yeah.
So which direction is this roof line leaning? I mean, it looks like it's going both ways on the top there.
Yeah, they're just slightly going up. I'm just saying, don't just shoot it straight, basically just slight angle up, a little perspective going up. Yeah, you don't get to see the side of the roof or anything. There's nothing there.
Even on the one side, you don't, on the right side, there's nothing there.
No, it looks like there might be just a ridge of more of a roof. Maybe there's a little drop off and another roof right there. But there's really, it's not the side of the barn or anything else. This is really a straight on side view of that barn.
Okay.
This almost just like this guy back in here. And it's fine. It's fine. We'll get away with that. Gives the guy a little bit more of a tip. Okay. Yeah. So there's nothing, no windows or anything to worry about and stuff. There is, I don't know, the little goofy stuff here. I thought that was a shadow, but maybe there is something here, right in here. But it's nothing. I'll have to dig in and take a deeper look. But I don't have. Okay. So big brush, big ideas. We're going to start with our bigger dark areas first. Work on this guy. Work on the tree. Making sure you get these darks underneath where they need to be first. And then we'll work from there. So let's start off with the red darks here for the tree. This is going to be the one with a little bit of Venetian and blue. Straight Venetian and blue going in right into this tree here. And I'm going to take it, like I said, into the bank a little bit farther than I usually would, because I'm going to be painting some snow over it, and I want to have that snow, some of the white, to have something to grab onto. And the same with making this line in the edge of where the snowbank here is into the road here. I want to bring that and push that out a little bit, get some of the darks in here. I want to keep going up here, but this is going to be a little bit, I need to get a little bit warmth in here. It's not red enough at the top. I thought the red would show up through it. So I'm going to add just a little more red to it up top here. Yeah, okay. Bring that back down, especially on this little side over here. It sure has tree has a little bit of some feet on it. Too much. I want to get that crease. There's a little crease in it. Gosh, too right in here. Okay. I'm not gonna go to my lights on it or anything like that yet. The grays, I just want to get some of these darks in before I pollute my brush and stuff. I'm gonna go now and paint this guy. I want to get him in. And these darks, I want to keep them very clean. Like that. And this is that really expensive brush again. I said, I got this one at Joann Fabrics. It's a 2-inch brush, but it's the exact same one as the one I had before, the bigger, littler brush, which is, it's like a 2-inch brush. This is, or a 1-inch, no, that's a 1.5. This is a 2-inch brush and stuff. But they really, look at this edge I get here. I can just touch with the edge and it's really great. Like that. I like that a lot.
It's a synthetic brush, right?
Yeah, it's real. Yeah, it's a synthetic, but boy, the lines it can hold and stuff right here. You know,
How long?
pretty
did you ask
nice.
for?
Pretty nice ones. It's nice to have a nice big brush like this to get a lot of this work done early, and then go in with your other brushes and stuff. And especially when you got a decent price on a brush like this, it's kind of nice. I'm just gonna darken this up a little bit. And then going with my reds, I'm gonna start putting in my reds into here, and then I'll go into the grays and paint that. Work on the building just a little bit. So the basic red I made up was that Venetian and just a little bit of blue in it. It was really pretty close. And I've already darkened in this paint already a little bit. And I can see you guys talking about that little edge right there. Okay. So it's already too dark, but that's where I'm going to go with, hopefully, just with a little bit of oil on my brush. Clean my brush out a little bit to get some of that too dark paint off it. Then I'll grab the one with a little bit of orange in it, the cat orange into it, and work, put it just simple spots. Okay. Not everywhere, just starting to get it. You might, I think there's just this ridge up here too, takes up a little bit. It'd be easier to paint it at the end, but I'm just talking about the snow comes up and there's just a line of red of the roof underneath showing through the snow right up here too. So it's not perfectly all snowed in. Even down in here, you can see a little bit of just a touch of it too. All right. I might even go, I got the light one where I just added just a little bit of white to it. And then I have one where I added things. So break up this roof a little bit. Okay. The toned white here it's a little bit too dark for the for what's there, but it's a good I don't have to paint that right now. It gives me, I have enough to work off of toned wise and stuff with the color here and stuff that I don't have to paint that white right now. I can keep I try to keep my brush pretty clean throughout, going from one color to the next and stuff. So I really don't want to get too much more red on my brush. I guess I'm trying to say. Now this is burnt sienna and white and blue for this barn here, barn wood color and stuff. That is basically on the blue side. And then you got some with more on the burnt sienna side going into it. That's pretty much pretty close. And I was saying I had some, I made up some blues here. Blues and purples that I wanted to put in here too. So. And the weird thing about painting and stuff too is the thickness of your paint is sometimes in your stroke line stuff. If I go like this with this one color and go right over here, and I go with the same color over here, this color over going down should feel a little bit lighter than the same color going in a different direction. Or is it the other way around? Let's see. And it's the other way around. This is catching more like so the horizontal stroke is going to be brighter than a vertical stroke because it catches more light. And sometimes you can change your color just by changing the direction of your stroke. Okay, you didn't need to know that much, but thought somebody might like it. This is where I'm starting to add some of this purples in and stuff. And you're going to find them nicely in this kind of thing, in these old woods and stuff. You're going to find all these beautiful grays. You're going to see some warms with some ochres, but you're also going to see some cools and some gray purples and stuff like that. I straighten that out just a hair more. Like a lot of times you straighten things out with, snow and stuff at the top here and stuff at the end. Change that angle just a little bit better. So it comes down. Okay. Since I got these grays and stuff on here and stuff, well, I do need to, looks like a ladder or something there. But let's go right into the road. Since I got all these grays on my brush, let's get the main part of this thing here. The first color, again, is the burnt sienna and blue and white mix. And this is just on the burnt sienna side. And I saw it right here mixing in, going right here next to the street. I'm going to put it in kind of on the edge, and I'm going to paint into it and stuff, but I just like to give it.
Awesome. Okay, Dre.
Are you lost already? Somebody's screaming at me.
We would never do that. Would we?
No. I've heard people. Oh, Mary Beth. She's horrible about it. She rips me constantly.
Yeah.
Unlike her.
See? And then, Karen Mang is here too. So we
Yeah,
can talk about Karen a little bit.
Yeah.
Karen, how's Florida these days?
Windy.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
The surf wasn't even get-inable. It was too wild for me.
So where about are you?
Melbourne Beach, which is halfway down the East Coast.
Oh, and you're staying for how long?
Well,
You're not coming back, are you?
No, I'm going to be home. I'm going to be back in Western Springs today. I'm going to catch the plane today. Yes,
I thought you were supposed to be down there for a month.
No, a week.
And you called in last week from the plane.
Yes, exactly.
You're watching this on the plane. I tell you, I get great ratings.
Yes, well, It was so funny because people were looking over because I was playing this, you know, they were like, what is she doing? Because there I was.
Get your mask on. That's what they're telling you, Karen.
No, I had a mask on, N95 the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the airport and on the plane.
Yeah, it's getting really, really bad. What's it down there? I mean, it's.
Well, they're
They
lucky.
talk about it.
Well, first of all, I think the governor here, I don't trust him to tell the truth anyway, but I think that the schools are pretty truthful, and what they're lucky is that all year round you can be outside,
Oh, that's true.
and because up there we're getting close to where it's getting too cold to be outside.
But not today.
Yeah, I hear today is supposed to be 70 or something.
I tell you, it's beautiful. Yeah.
Well,
Yesterday was great.
Flying in today. That's good.
Yeah. Yeah, of course, the weather, you're bringing that weather with you, Karen.
I sure hope so. And I wish I could keep it, make it warmer. But I think in the next month, we're going to have to give into winter.
I think you should become a weather lady. I mean, that's unbelievable. You really think so?
Yeah.
Okay. Back into this road and stuff. Okay, I got my midtones in. I got a lot of this stuff going in. I'm going through my variations of colors. I got my basic tone, and then I went in with a little bit of a blue into it and grays and stuff, and I found that closer to this edge, the shade edge of this stuff, and maybe over on this side a little bit. And it's really nice to get those guys in early. Then there was a little bit more warmth I found on the very outsides where it's moving in with the gravel and stuff a little bit. I probably went a little bit too far, but I'll be pushing things around in here and stuff with my finger at the end. Stuff I plan on going back in and doing a few of these kind of things to this stuff and really kind of breaking up things. But there is one, like now, as you can tell, I kind of just barely hit a few of these areas here in the middle because they really have a little bit more white in them and stuff. And that's what's really going to give this, start to give the glistening effect to this dirt road stuff. And so it basically was just a little bit, I think I just added a little bit more white to that color, and it should be able to grab pretty good here. But by the time I get it to about here and I start twisting my brush down, it should start to mix in. And I get back there, it should be almost a full mix. And so it makes a nice little, simple turn of colors there without really much work. And what I'm going to try and do is not overwork this. That's the thing, is it's overworking these things so easily and so quickly. Going from here to back into here and twisting your brush and trying to just leave a little bit of this mid road here to show through. And I'm putting these strokes, just going to leave a little bit of room in between some of these strokes too. Then there's just a little bit of coolness over here and right over in here and here. Just has a little more blue into it. And of course I made those colors. That might be just a little dark. But I wanted to get a lot of this kind of stuff painted underneath here before I put in the shadow. Because the next thing I'll be doing is putting in the shadow of this tree going across. And I want to make sure I have everything kind of like in place underneath it, because I can put in some branches and stuff. And if I put in the branches, I don't want to go back in and paint this road. This road and the branches and everything else should combine and intertwine. And I think they'll do it naturally if the road's done. But if I have to go back and do a lot of little things in between branches and stuff, it's going to get, it'll probably get really messy. So I'm going to try and make sure I got my ducks in a row here before I do that. And it's half the thing is knowing when to paint things. Just lightening these guys up a little bit more. Okay, and you're going to find a lot of this road. Well, we'll turn a little bit lighter blue and stuff here and there when it goes over ridges and stuff. It's nice to know what you're doing there and making those guys stand out. So I'm going to go with my blue gray for the road I made up. That is Venetian and blue, more on the blue side. And I'm going to start with it up here. So it goes down this bakement. This shadow comes up to about here, right? I'm just going to take and twist my brush, start it off there, twist my brush like this. And as I go and stuff, I'll twist it out and I'll twist it back and forth just to make some undulations. And then it gets to here and then it goes up the bank a little bit. So I guess I should have pointed out though that this stroke here, really needs to be one shot for me. I like to have it one shot, and then I'll come back in and add in a branch here off this side, and a branch here coming off this side. And one coming off here. I didn't want to do that, what I just did. I didn't want to, touch that too much in there. Okay, so you can get away with that, but then I was going to say also it lightens up just a little bit more when you get over here, and so you can go back in and add just a little bit of blue to some of these spots. Or when you start doing some of the branches back over in here crossing over, if you put them in with just a little bit of lighter blue, so just add some of that blue gray to it, to your color. Just a little bit will do it. And I can do this little kind of stuff. I would say try to only do the big stuff on this when I start doing the lines and stuff. If you do too many of them, it'll start getting really busy. I mean, it's busy. It starts busy stuff anyway. But sometimes you're going to find out less is more, definitely there. And this is where I go back in and I'll just hit a couple spots in this guy. I match up the lines in the road here. Just with just a slightly lighter gray. Just a little bit of spots. You don't even have to do very much. Okay. That's about it. Now since I got blue on my brush and stuff like that, and I'm in my blues, takes me right into the snowbank. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, well, I guess.
I don't worry about you. You don't need to. We don't need to talk to you anymore. You've been putting up your paintings nicely, regularly.
I'm waiting for other people to do that, please. How are we going to learn?
I know. What is wrong with these people? Put your paintings up. Mary Beth, more paintings. Karen, more paintings.
Well, do you think any of them are done?
Come on, we're painting once a week. Once a week, I want to see paintings. Quit hogging your paintings. Let me see if I grabbed the right one. I think I didn't. Did I grab it? No, I didn't grab the right one. I can't tell.
Doing snow now? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going into the shadows and stuff. And when I go into here, I'm going to leave a little bit of area for the paint to grab and go over and time, go over these areas and stuff. But that's what I'm doing. I'm going over where I'm thinking the white's going to go and stuff. I'm traveling over it a little bit. Just going to leave a little bit of room for the paint to grab the canvas and stuff. And then I should give it enough that it's going to mix with the paint around it a little bit. So it's not going to feel lonely and all by itself. Stuff. And nice thing about this, I'm starting to work in here. Make sure there's a little piece of wood here, right there. Make sure you keep that dark there. That's a nice dark. That's gonna be nice for that. And then on this side of just a little bit less and less. Okay, now I'm gonna go with my lighter purple I made up. Back in here, you can barely tell. That's the good thing. It's lighter, but you can barely tell. It is compared to this stuff. It's just get this thick one right here, fill it in, get it in. And when I come down into the dark here down here, I'm just going to lift my brush up and just do a couple dabs, let it mix a little bit. I don't want to overpaint all that dark out I put in and stuff. I want to make sure that shows through because it really becomes some really nice transparencies between the light and stuff. And then when you got one more to put in here, it's going to be a lot less than what we have already. It's just going to be really nice. It's going to work out real well. Over here, you might, there's just a little piece of this, it gets into the snow here, just a little bit, the shadow. It really doesn't show too much. You might think about putting some right here on there and working back in here a little bit, maybe a little lighter than that.
Biden has won.
Okay.
It's official now. Wow. Yay.
Biden won?
That's what my husband says. Yay.
You like Biden?
Yes.
Okay, good. I'm going to start painting just putting in some of these blues from the trees back in here. There's a couple shafts of light coming through. I probably could have painted the pinks and stuff in here early. Yeah, maybe I should wait on that. That Biden thing threw me off. Got me.
So you're bringing that blue gray all the way up for that.
This is a little bit lighter. This is a lot lighter, blue gray. It's almost, and it will be a little bit light. So I think when you get going here and you're looking at adjustments and stuff, I'm going, yeah, it was too close to this one. So yeah, it was easy for you to even say that, it looked like the same color. So I'm gonna tone it down a little bit. It probably needs a little more red into it. Looks a little, just a little too gray, but that'll come. Okay, simple, right? We're almost done.
You're so funny.
Well, we're, you know, if you didn't paint the whites and stuff, you pretty much feel like it. But the whites are the easiest ones to paint. Or the should be the easiest ones to paint. Okay. I toned this roof down back in here, graded out, it'll work fine. I just wanted to get the basically I'm putting in the shadows, but on that roof back here. And yeah, I'm just gonna paint the lights back into it. But I'm gonna just use that as a basic shadow. It's such a small spot, it's not worth painting too much. Then I'm gonna go back in here. Let's get that guy. You never did pull out a sky color, did I? Boy, I'm a little messed up today. This might be dark. Yeah. All right. 1 second. I gotta add some white to those colors. All those colors I made up are these mid-tones. Stuff they just for the back there, for the back here. Stuff I built them all together. And just putting in that first color there, I know they're a couple degrees off. Just like me today, just a couple degrees off. So just gonna add just a little bit of white, probably almost this. I'm adding about the same amount of white to every one of these colors. And that red is so strong, I gotta really knock it down. Let's try again. Wipe my brush. Get that color out of here. All right, go back to this color here. A lot of colors. A couple degrees too dark. And then we'll start to go back and work on the barn. I'm gonna make this one here has a little more red into it, so it's just a little bit warmer purple going into here. This corner, that one's just a little more gray in the mountain. And so, Jane, you're gonna go find us some photos then, right? You're gonna go find us some of these type of photos? Yeah, she is. I think everybody likes this stuff.
Oh, I love this kind of stuff.
I love rolling hills. We just don't have many around here. They're just such small patches, right?
Boring, Illinois, yeah.
Yeah, no, everything's flat. You know, pretty flat. This is putting just that one little bit of when I added ochre to that blue mix right here. And I'm just putting it over, and it's going to become this part of this tree that's coming, or a couple trees in here. So I'm just kind of like putting it right over the blue, but I want to make sure I don't cover up all the blue and stuff. It can go into the sky and stuff like that, but I don't have the sky painted. So, but I've been also using it right here, running it into the barn, right here on the edge of this hill, going down and stuff. Just a little bit of some trees, and they got a little bit more warmth right there. And then over here, it's almost the same thing, where it gets a little bit ochre-y. So you got a little bit of warmth right above this tree or this barn here and stuff, and in front of it. And then over here, I'll be using pretty much the same thing, just on the red side. This is where I was saying I was using that same color, but just with CAD red into it. And it's going to be pretty much into this hillside right here. Start to break this hillside a little bit here and there and drag it down. And not to do, this is like I said about trying not to do too much. So I don't want to just keep bringing I want to give some room in between my brush strokes. So I'm not over painting and stuff. So I'm going to leave some of this blue show through and at least that line show through. And then I'll blur it out up here a little bit. I still got some sky that's going to come in here. Oh, while I'm there, the magic is to bring this right into the front tree a little bit. And start bringing it in. Okay. Okay. There's a little patch of trees right in here. Don't have to do too much yet. Got a lot of white gonna come back into this yet. We're getting all set to put in snow. Now, then we'll put in fences and stuff. A lot of this is like the nice thing about this is that at this point and stuff, you can start going around and you'll find out a lot of these road colors in here and stuff will work really nice as just to cross into here and become you know, all of a sudden become the right color for making these trees and stuff. That's what I was saying about even here. There's a stick here. There's more of just a stick here, but I'm going to make it more of a, like they tied the post to it and stuff. That's what I was thinking about here. I got a lot of glare right here, so I don't want to do too much on this tree right now. But let me turn over to the side here. I can see. I got that thing. Just a little bit of work here. I want to. Okay.
Jim, what color did you use like that highlight on the tree?
Right here?
Yeah.
You know, I used the Cad Red purple mix I was using back in here.
Oh, really?
Wait, no, that's not. But in here a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I put in there initially. And then I was just going to come over one more time with the little bit of this road color into it.
Okay.
And and bring it down just a little bit more here and there, a few spots. Yeah, something like that. Now I finally got some greens back in here. I'm going to paint my greens in. And this thing, as soon as I put that in, now I'll start going to the snow. I want to get it in here, and I want to get it in here, and then I'll use the snow, and the snow should really start to push the thing down. I'm going to go with my darker green first, and put it back in the middle of this thing a little bit farther back. Bring it up in the middle of this thing, but not all the way. Bring it into the road. You can see it right in here. There's a little kind of swoops in here. It is darker. Let's keep it dark. And then right here there's the fence is right here, and it just caught a little, keeping a little of the snow off of this area here too a little bit. So I'll drag that in. And this is like when it's nice to that you do have the toned canvas showing through, or you do have it there. So if you do miss this little spot here, it doesn't just jump out here and scream at you. Like it normally would if it was just a regular white canvas, and then you'd have to go back in and get these in between things instead of having this natural feel to it. Okay. Let's get this going up a little bit. Greens in the back will be grayed out a lot more. Everything is going to be a little bit less as we go. Now I'm going to brighten that up, go with my lighter green. And let's see if I lighten it up enough. I'm not sure now. It's going to be light enough. It's getting there, but it looks like I painted just a little dark today. But it's consistent dark. I mean, everything's dark. Now, then, it's pretty simple to go lighten up the areas and stuff after you have this stuff done. A lot of times you'll find that you don't need to lighten up everything. You just lighten up a couple spots in these paintings and stuff, little areas and stuff, shapes and stuff. You lighten up a few spots, and then it'll lighten up the main majority of the spot. I'm going to add a lot of cad yellow to this thing. And let me see, it should mix in. Grab a little more. My color was just a little too close to what was there. Really should have been. And what I want to do is not to lose all my strokes, so as I go. Knowing that I got some lightness yet to come in from the snow. And speaking of that, we should be getting out of that really quick here. Put a dab right here, lighten that area up. Okay. I'm feeling better. How are you guys doing? You feeling better?
Oh my God.
Not yet.